Hey guys, it's Robin, and I want to catch you guys up on what I've been reading lately. Want to welcome you to Miss Robin's Nerd Life. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and check out some of our videos because we're trying to grow this channel, get to our first 500 subscribers. It would be really awesome if you are one of them. Right, Penny? Penny does not care for books, so she's just gonna look out the window. So I want to talk about some stuff I've been reading this month. One of the first books is actually a real paper book, which is called The Boy Who Drew Monsters by Keith Donahue. This is an advanced reading copy that I got for free a couple years ago at the BEA convention, and it was a pretty enjoyable. Phone is ringing. That was so rude. Phone calls. So yeah, The Boy Who Drew Monsters. It's about this little kid, Jack Peter, and his parents. They live up in Maine in this really beautiful area, and it's like a summer town, so it's kind of abandoned and creepy during the winter months when this takes place. Jack has a little friend named Nick, and Jack is on the spectrum, and I've been reading a lot of books about kids on the spectrum lately. It's totally random, but it's good to know that they're writing about kids who are different, and I think that's pretty cool. So Keith Donahue. Jack is an artist and he loves to draw, but really weird things keep happening around town. His dad is driving his friend home one night and they see a big creepy guy out on the streets. There's been reports of wolves happening, and it all just might be related to Jack's drawings. It was a pretty quick read for a paper book, which I don't read that many paper books as much anymore. But I am trying to actually get through some of them this summer. So one of my goals is to get through at least maybe, I don't know, some of the pile I have. I have a lot of books that are paperbacks. But I enjoyed it. It was a pretty quick read. You know, it was kind of suspenseful. I was wondering what was going on. There's a little bit of a mystery and a backstory with some history in the town, some interesting characters, some weird dynamics, a strange lady who's a housekeeper for a priest who has a lot of secrets as well. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. Pretty well written, engaging, suspenseful, interesting kids, interesting story. I enjoyed it. I don't usually read horror or creepy stuff, but this really wasn't anything. It wasn't really like Stephen King level stuff. I actually used to read a lot of Stephen King, and then I just kind of gave up on the whole horror creepy thing. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good book. And it was free, so that's great too. So yeah, I don't know if Keith Donahue's written any other books, but I thought this one was pretty cool. Another book I read on my Kindle recently is called Elizabeth is Missing by Emma Healy. And that was a really difficult but interesting read, and I'll tell you why it was a little difficult. So Elizabeth is the best friend's character. Oh, what was this woman's name? I have to look it up in my Goodreads. Maud. Her name is Maud, and she has a really fascinating backstory about her sister and her family, kind of set back in World War II. But in modern life, her memories are getting all mixed up because she's got Alzheimer's or dementia, and that was really sad for me because my grandfather had Alzheimer's, and it was very interesting to read a book written from the point of view of someone with dementia who can't remember words or things or their family, or just like what she did 5 minutes ago or what she ate, and she's having all these issues and she can't live on her own anymore. So it was really heartbreaking and sad, and she is really worried about her friend Elizabeth, and she thinks she's missing. And there's that mystery, and then there's the mystery of what happened to her sister back in the 40s. And it was a really compelling book. A bit difficult, like I said, to read because of the dementia issue. My great-grandmother and my grandfather both suffered from dementia. And, you know, it was interesting to get that perspective as well. So, you know, this is something in my family, so it makes me worry a little bit. I gotta start doing more crossword puzzles and keep my brain sharp, I think. But really well-written book, really sad, but I enjoyed that as well. The next book I read was an audiobook called The People We Hate at the Wedding by Grant Ginder. Ginder? I'm sorry, I'll put it here. And I think this book should have been called The People I Hate in This Book. This was on a lot of summer to read lists, so I was like, let me read something that's going to be a fun summer read. And you guys, it's rare that I hate a book. I gave it like 2 stars on Goodreads. I did not enjoy this book at all. I I read a lot of books about characters that I don't particularly like say The Nest, or another book that I'm going to talk about next. Like, there are a lot of despicable or unlikable anti-hero type characters in a lot of books I read, but in this book, I don't know. I just did not care for any of the characters. There's these two, a brother and sister, their half-sister who's getting married, their mom, and some of the other people in their lives, a boyfriend, a married co-worker, and I just did not care for any of them. I couldn't relate to any of them. I thought they were just really full of themselves. They didn't have any redeeming qualities. They were really annoying. I couldn't wait to finish this book. And I am a person who has to finish a book that I start, and I just had a hard time getting through this one. I don't know why. I did not care for it. I didn't care how they ended up. I didn't think they redeemed themselves in any way at the end. And I just did not enjoy it. And it's rare that I don't find an inkling of anything in a book to enjoy. So that was one of them. I'm upset that I spent my money on it. Or my Audible credits. Now, next up on my list are 3 books. I really essentially just adored these books. I thought they were so much fun. It is the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy by Kwan. China Rich Girlfriend and Rich People Problems were also part of that trilogy. Rich People Problems just came out, and I didn't even realize that it just came out when I started reading Crazy Rich Asians. These books are so funny. So the characters are based out of Singapore, Hong Kong, China, but they also live in London and New York, and they are filthy rich. They are mega millionaires, billionaires. They can pretty much use dollar bills to blow their nose if they wanted to. And, you know, they have these elaborate lifestyles, and some of them are actually really funny. The older generation, they are really rich and will spend like money on crazy jewelry, but then they're really cheap about like their clothes or where they eat. It's kind of funny. Or they have these big elaborate homes, and it's just very funny, the generational difference. Whereas the young people are like partying and living it up, and it's just really funny. And one of the main characters is this woman, Rachel Chu, who is dating one of the scions of this clan, and she doesn't know what she's in for, and he is not very open about his family when he brings her home for a wedding in Singapore for the summer. And that's where it all starts. So there's just like this big web of characters who continue on through the books, and their lives interact. And I just thought it was really funny. Now that is a good summer read. I really enjoyed that trilogy. I listened to it on audiobook, and there were 2 different narrators. I liked the first one better, but it was still just great. Just so many crazy characters, like Eddie Ching, who is just like, the man is crazy about his clothes. He cares more about his clothes than his children. Or you have Kitty Pong, a former soap star actress who's trying to rise in society and ends up really like winning the day in a lot of ways. And just all these crazy interesting characters. I just enjoy that series. That's definitely one I'm going to want to revisit. Another book I loved that I listened to that I thought was really awesome is called Be Frank with Me by Julia Claiborne Johnson, and it is about this really awesome kid called Frank and this woman who comes in as an assistant for his mom, who's a really eccentric, reclusive writer. And Frank is just this really awesome kid. He is obsessed with like old-timey movies and strange fashions, and he doesn't fit in at school, and he has a really hard time in social situations. He's definitely on the spectrum, even though they don't talk about it, but he is just such a great character. And the way that this woman comes into their lives, and it's just so interesting, and such a great story about people and the families you make, and I really enjoyed that. Yeah, so that's what I've been reading these last few weeks. Next up on my list, let's see if I can fire it up here. I am listening to Eleanor Oliphant is Perfectly Fine, which I'm really enjoying. I'll also be reading next, let's see if I can, oh, you can't see the cover, Rick Riordan's Trial of Apollos Part 2. And then I also have You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I don't usually read self-help books, but I am going to be reading this one. I hear it's really funny. And I also am reading Jojo Moyes 1+1. I love Jojo Moyes' books. This is another ARC that I had gotten, and they've been sitting here for a long time, so I'm about this far into it. I really love it. Gonna definitely read some more of this tonight. I want to start trying to read a lot more paperbacks this summer. So let me know what you guys are reading. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you've thought of them. I hope that you will hit that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot to us if you did. And you can watch my last book reviews up here and another video from YouTube's choice of randomness. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm also on Goodreads, RM Cabana, if you're on there. And thank you so much for watching, and thanks for being awesome. Bye!